Hey, what's up, guys? Max here. So we got some coverage, some news to cover really quick. A lot of stuff, really important stuff that we kind of talked about on streams, but we're gonna summarize it here on one hopefully quick video. So we have the Titania and Iron Man Infamous updates, whether they're gonna be nerfed or buffed. Turns out that both of these champions are actually gonna be staying as is. So really quickly, we're not gonna read the whole message, but to give you the sums of everything in this message is Titania is staying the way she is. They found that she is a perfect matchup in basically where she's being used, which is AW in a couple of battleground fights. And she was designed to basically kind of counter a couple of the mystics, Mojo being one of them. So that is where the game and the creators of that feel that the balance of that champion is perfect. So good for her, especially if you just got her and you ranked her up to rank 3 or thinking of rank 4. I think the scary part of ranking for a champion now is pretty much over. A lot of us used to be scared to rank for a champion, and I was there with you. And now I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm taking this champion to rank 4. I don't care. Just because of the amount of items that we're getting, the rank up resources we're getting. Now, Infamous Iron Man, the coolest champion out of for a while, basically is going to stay the same. He's designed to counter Bishop and Apocalypse, some of the nastiest defenders you can see out there. And when compared to the original Doom, he does have a crippling effect. Basically, you take away his armor, and that's kind of like the summary there says that Kabam's like, you know what? Take away his armor, and he's done. He's basically no longer the cool, infamous, strong Iron Man that he is. So he's staying the same as well. The other thing, the biggest news of them all is the Spider-Man Classic buff and changes and rework that's coming soon. So we're gonna see. We know that Hulk Classic is gonna get reworked. So the new kit's coming next year, hopefully early January maybe. And then I'm assuming because of this announcement, we got Spider-Man Classic coming in with the rework. So that's exciting because that Spider-Man is an old champion. And boy, do I love my recent spiders. So they've been a new addition to my account, specifically around Battlegrounds. So excited to see and nervous because so far, all the major reworks that they've done in the most recent champions, I'm not enticed to use that champion any more than it was before. I ranked up a few to rank 3, but I still don't feel like, oh my gosh, this old champion beats what the new champion offers. I don't feel that aligns perfectly. I think they're maybe on purpose doing this balance where they're like touching the old champions, the new champions. They don't want to outshadow the new champions. They don't want to give the old champions the amazing kit where you're like, oh, I need to get that old champion, or I have that old champion. I'm gonna focus on that old champion. So that's not really happening. So let's take a look at what the Spider-Man Classic rework is going to be all about. So recently, we also got a Battlegrounds gift, a free gift in the game with notification, and with that free gift came a couple of shuffle signets, right? And it made a funny issue because everybody, either you had some or you didn't, or you had 0, just like me. And if you didn't catch that video, I basically didn't warn, but I just kind of like assumed, I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to claim this because it doesn't make sense. It's going to go in the overflow, and if I claim it now, I'm not going to be able to use it. So I waited on actually claiming those rewards. But unlike what I did, a lot of the community actually just hit the claim button, and they fell into the overflow. And guess what? Based off the date of today and claiming it, they're going to be expiring. So they basically are no longer any good. So they became obsolete immediately. Now, Kabam did a thing. They did a good thing. Hello, Summoners. We recently sent out a care package to thank you for playing Battlegrounds. You all made us aware that the current inventory cap for the shuffle signets is less than the amount that was given to you. We hear you. The game team has acknowledged the pain, this pain point, and effectively immediately has increased the inventory cap. Happy holidays. This change will persist through the next BG seasons. So maybe it sticks, maybe it changes, and these changes are not necessarily a game-breaking event when it comes to inventory. I know when it comes to inventory, Kabam is a little funny about things. They don't want you to have too many items that you're not using and just you keep them in inventory. But um, we'll see how this plays out. But hey, you know what? Overall, in the bigger picture of things, so far we're winning when it comes to the player base. Kabam is treating us nicely. They're doing good things for us. I guess as you kind of want to say, right? Um, let's move on to the next one. So we've had the Banquet crystals, okay, and those are giving a lot of scrap, and you're able to do and collect a lot of scrap this entire month. And we're seeing actually summoners with millions and millions of inventory issues with scrap, and having to run this side quest event is very taxing and very time consuming. Now, what Kabam heard, and they notified and saw that this is a problem. So what they ended up doing is they're at late January, we're going to be seeing a store, a scrap store, if you will, where you can trade in your scrap without doing a side quest event, similar to the stores we've had in the past where we've traded. What were they called? What are they called? The bloonies, I think they were called. We were able to trade those for items in the store. So now you're going to be able to trade your scrap. I'm assuming this is how it's going to be laid out at the end of January. So don't panic if you're sitting with millions of scrap that you've collected from the crystals, or just keep grinding out your scrap. Trust me. And if you're in a situation where you need to use it, use it. Go out and do it, because you're going to have so much options at the end of January. Also, be aware, rank up your champions. Do concentrate and focus on how you're going to be doing your rank ups, because it is very important how you do that right now. Because if you have some scrap, you're gonna be forced to use it. That's how the game is designed right now, and it makes sense. Just use your scrap, and then you're gonna be able to get some resources in your inventory. Keeping in mind, knowing our current caps of inventory, so definitely know what you're doing. If you're like too much on the inventory and you're like, hey, I don't have enough champions, start collecting some shards, start collecting other resources that are found in the yard, so you can kind of balance your account evenly. So overall, again, a big win on Kabam for just kind of reacting fairly quickly and doing their part when it comes to what we kind of as a community want to see and want to hear, and what we're expecting them to do, right? Really good. Now, with all the good things, sometimes we have some negative things, right? The Banquet conditions clarification. So Kabam made a statement earlier in a couple of weeks before this event started, and kind of gave basically a rundown on what the event was going to incur and what the requirements were needed for people, for summoners, for players to actually participate. The biggest thing here was basically, to summarize it too as well for you guys, and you're like, why are you even covering this? Is because it actually was a big issue. There was a couple of summoners creating multiple accounts to try to benefit from this event, and turns out they were basically like, whoa, I can't benefit. And obviously the time and that they were able to put into this is a lot to be able to create multiple accounts. So what basically occurred is Kabam announced saying, hey, you need to be this or that, right, to be able to participate and get a gifting badge. Now, the clarification came out and says you have to achieve the rank of Conqueror and at least be level 40. And I think that's the biggest thing that was a misunderstanding before, or maybe a typo or a miscommunication between the team at Kabam, is that they forgot the and. So it was or, basically. It was, you got to be either Conqueror or level 40, and you'll be able to get the gifting badge. So now that they've clarified it, a lot of summoners were mad. A lot of actually multiple people, multiple sources, whether on Twitter, YouTube, voiced a lot of opinions and concerns about this. Kabam kind of made a clarification post here just to kind of let us know what was going to happen and how they were going to clarify. So they're saying that, hey, you know what? If you're just very close to these two, you should be able to get to it. And you're still going to be able to get the gifting badge. Now, that's still a bummer for sure when it comes to the gifting event, but hopefully these summoners can achieve both Conquer and level 40 by the time this event is over, and they can participate and trade and get that gifting badge and be able to give their main account. What the whole purpose of that was to give their main account resources so they can do whatever they need to do on their main account. So, it's, for me, I see it and I hear it, but most of the time, the people that really got affected by this wasn't really people that were just starting to play the game. I don't think people that are just even level 40, unless they know YouTube and they know the forums and they know all this information, most people that are barely learning how to play the game are just kind of like, hey, I don't know what's going on. Just there's so much features in the game, and then there's kind of like baby steps, into the game. This gets affected more for people that are trying to basically, in one way or another, it's going to sound bad, but try to manipulate the game and the resources. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying it's like you got caught with an error of Kabam's side, and now it affected your main account. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'm all for finding sometimes like workarounds and kind of like having it benefit the summoners, because a lot of us do that. A lot of people find some strategy. We call them strategies, to do that. But let me know in the comments if you're a brand new player to Marvel Contest of Champions and this actually affected you, or are you on the other side? You're a player that knows about the gifting and you've been grinding multiple accounts to gift to your main account some resources to ideally do some more stuff. Let me know. Let me know. I'm interested in knowing that, because I think it's majority of that was the other side, not really new players, which in essence is just, I, I don't know. We can have a debate about that one. Yeah, but overall, guys, everything that's happening right now in the game, whether it is the new store that's being ended at the end of January, whether it's the Kabam fixing the inventory for the free stuff that they give us, or the news that we got for the new champions that are not being touched and the new buff that we're getting, everything is really good right now going on. There's a lot of good information, so really happy. Really good news overall for Kabam and the team. Thank you so much for letting us have an enjoyable holidays. And guys, I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Peace.